Is the YRF Spy Universe absolutely finished? So I managed to watch War 2 this past weekend, and to be honest, the expectations that I had with War 2, it didn't satisfy me at all. So first of all, we need to understand that this film was hyped a lot, and it rightfully so, because two of the biggest stars of the country, one from Bollywood, Hrithik Roshan, and one from South or Telugu cinema rather, NTR, was coming together. I remember when this film was first announced or teased at the post-credit scene of Tiger 3, we genuinely was excited. We were genuinely excited and hyped for it because War 2 looked very different from every Spy Universe film that they had teased or they had released. What kind of films that we have had in this universe? First of all, we need to understand that. So the first film that we got in this so-called Spy Universe was Ek Tha Tiger. At that point in time, of course, there was no Spy Universe or anything like that. They hadn't conceptualized it yet. However, Ek Tha Tiger, when that film released, it showed Salman Khan in a completely different avatar, and it was a massive hit at the box office as well. Audiences loved it. It released in the Eid, and it was one of the highest Bollywood earners at that point of time, and one of the biggest hits of Indian cinema. Cut to 5 years later, we got something like Tiger 3. A different director, directed by Ali Abbas Zafar. The first one was directed by Kabir Khan. Tiger 3, Ek Tha Tiger, was also a massive hit at the box office, grossing more than 300 crores. Now, cut to 2019, we got something like War. War was genuinely a film which was hyped up, and it delivered almost everything that it promised. It looked sleek, and it was a real theatrical experiences when we watched it in theaters back in 2019. Then the pandemic hit, and Shah Rukh Khan, one of the biggest superstars of all time, was making a comeback. It was Pathaan, and Pathaan changed the box office in a way unimaginable at that point of time. We all know what kind of history Pathaan created. Now, why am I saying, or why am I going through all this kind of history lessons? Because we need to first of all understand that this is a context that is very important in a universe point of view. Whenever we have seen universes being created, like cinematic universe, whether it's Marvel, whether it's DC in the Hollywood, or whether it's something like a Maddock cinematic universe or the Maddock horror universe that they are creating right. So this is where the beginnings were of the YRF Spy Universe. I remember when War 2 was first teased, it was genuinely very exciting because it looked like a pan-India film. We have often seen in today's day and age that this term pan-India is something which has become such a norm, but most of the film failed to deliver it. Over here, the first thing that was we were a bit unsure was the director. YRF and Aditya Chopra has this habit of changing and chopping directors in every film of theirs, whether they're doing a franchise or not. We saw the same thing with Dhoom series as well. And over here, every YRF Spy Universe film so far has been directed by different directors. And the problem is every film looks a bit different as well, but in a way they look all the same, and they look all kind of in a similar template as well. So now let's talk about what this film. When the teaser first of all was announced, we were so genuinely hyped for the teaser, but every promotional material that they have released so far, it was literally looked like the same kind of template, and to be honest, the look and feel of the films felt like the same Tiger 3 or a Pathaan. However, I still had expectations that we are going to see something different. To be honest, yes, they have changed something. However, what they didn't change was the same old VFX, the same old kind of character details, and the same kind of character arcs that we have seen in every film of YRF Spy Universe. Let's talk about War 3 in a bit of detail. By the way, this will be a complete spoiler discussion. So if anybody has not watched the film, I don't think anybody has up until now. But if you haven't watched the film, do watch this video after you watch the film. War 2 introduces a new character, Vikram, who is part of the Raw, and it also follows Kabir, who is right now has gone rogue. Now this is a template that we had seen in War as well. It was kind of like a similar kind of template where Tiger Shroff's character in War was a Raw agent and Kabir had gone rogue. In one of the trailers, if you see the trailer of War right now as well, you will see that one of the scenes, Colonel Luthra, he's literally mentioning that Kabir has gone rogue. Now over here, Kabir, his character has changed a bit. He has gone to a much more darker place. However, the problem started with the first scene itself. I remember the rumors which were flung in when the film was about to get released, that Hrithik Roshan's opening sequences, which was he was fighting a katana, was something which you will have your minds blown off. I remember the PR articles that Hrithik Roshan would have an entry on this film which will absolutely turn theatres into stadiums. But to be honest, it was one of the most underwhelming aspects of this film. The entry that he had, like Kabir's entry, I'm sure you all remember the entry of Kabir in 2009's War. The way Siddharthan presented Hrithik Roshan, it was something to behold. And it was a very simple kind of thing. He was going from a chopper and he was just walking. But that entry was something at a packed theatre in 2019. It was an experience to behold. Unfortunately, the entry over here with the wolf and with the CGI effect of the wolf as well, it really didn't hit me at all. To be honest, the fight sequences were pretty much appropriate. However, after a point of time, it got repetitive. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Junior NTR. Like Junior NTR is one of the most prominent and right now one of the most popular actors of Telugu cinema, especially after RRR and the massive success and the popularity that that film got. Junior NTR over here, unfortunately, his screen presence seems to be a bit tiring. And after a point of time, his dialogue delivery seems very much rehearsed. I don't know what is the problem with specifically Hindi film directors that they are not able to present a South actor quite like they want to present it. We saw the same thing with Adipurush as well, where Prabhas in the role of Lord Rama wasn't presented at all well. There was so much criticism. But the same Prabhas who was presented so well by Rajamouli, along with that, the next film that he did after Adipurush was Salar, and we all know how brilliantly he was presented in Salar. To be honest, I'm seeing a bit of discourse that his fans are also not that happy with it. Now, the problem with this film, first of all, the tonal shifts are so much. There is so much tonal shift that first of all, you don't understand that where this story is going. The action feels repetitive and it's the same template that we have seen in every Spy Universe film, especially after Tiger Zinda Hai. We have a rogue agent, we have the same kind of VFX, the same kind of action staging as well. Like there is literally a scene where Junior NTR, in his entry, he is literally killing the Somalian pirates and the scenes are so haphazardly placed. The scenes are so haphazardly staged as well that you do not feel a sense of excitement at all if you are a neutral fan. I went in with a lot of expectations, especially from Junior NTR as well. However, to be honest, I'm very, very disappointed. Post-interval, we get a backstory of Vikram and Kabir as well, and that entire sequence, it felt so out of place, and it literally reminded me that this is a filmmaker who is unsure of what kind of direction he wants to take this film on. So overall, War 2 was a really like a middling experience for me. I'm not sure how it will perform at the box office. This might be the first film which is a genuine flop from the YRF Spy Universe. Now let's talk about the YRF Spy Universe a bit and why right now it feels like a dead end. We had films like Ek Tha Tiger, which was genuinely very much a crowd pleaser film at that point of time. We had something like Pathaan, which was representing Shah Rukh Khan's comeback after 5 years almost. However, if you analyze it a bit in detail, you will first of all understand that YRF, they are so result heavy and they are so much result oriented that any kind of planning that they have is absolutely short-lived and short-term. Let me give you an example. After Pathaan became a huge blockbuster that we all know it did, they immediately announced something like Tiger vs Pathaan. And after Tiger 3 was like a real underperformer at the box office, there were rumors and there were articles that Tiger and Pathaan has been shelved right now. The entire universe is right now dependent on set pieces and cameos. And cameos are something, if done well, they can literally give you a theatrical experience of the ages. However, for cameos, if they are not done right, to be honest, there is absolutely no novelty factor that is left right now with the cameos. We have all seen action films like this, especially with the amount of exposure that we have with Hollywood films right now. And cameos, to be honest, they are all by big names, not by characters. Now, if we compare it to something like MCU, which clearly Aditya Chopra is aping right now, MCU, the cameo of Thanos or a cameo of, let's say, Chris Evans as Captain America, Chris Evans was not that huge an actor before MCU came into being. But once Captain America became this huge cultural phenomena along with the MCU, those cameos literally had developed that kind of novelty factor. The cameo of Salman Khan as Tiger in Pathaan was an absolute wet dream for theatre-going audience at that point of time. However, Shah Rukh Khan's cameo as Pathaan in Tiger 3, it didn't have that kind of desired impact at all. One of the things which I am also a bit concerned, and to be honest, it's a genuine concern right now, is every film at one point of time looks the same, the template is the same. However, because of different directors and because of different vision, every director's sensibility is not the same. Ayan Mukherjee after Brahmastra, I am sure, I am right now, and I know that I might get a lot of hate from fans over here, but Ayan Mukherjee doesn't seem to be the man to direct this kind of films at this scale. Brahmastra, as good as the visuals were, the staging felt off, the dialogue, we all know what happened with those dialogues. Similarly, Manish Sharma, who has in his entire life has directed films which are smaller in scale, even a fan which was very much smaller in scale, he couldn't handle Salman Khan's stardom and he couldn't handle that film. If we look at the directors of the YRF Spy Universe films, it genuinely started on a great note with Kabir Khan, who had something to say. Then it shifted to Ali Abbas Zafar. Then it went on to Siddharth Anand, who directed 2 films. Right now, the only director to direct 2 films right now, with War and then Pathaan. And then it went all downhill with Tiger 3 with Manish Sharma and right now with Ayan Mukherjee. The problem is that every director has their own sensibilities. And in the promotional campaigns, and I'm sure that many of you have seen, the promotional campaign was a damn squib of War 2. The songs, it was completely weird that the songs were not released properly and both the songs didn't have that kind of desired impact. Kiara Advani's Bikini was making more noise. Unfortunately, the film turned out to be a damn squib. To be honest, my hopes with YRF Spy Universe after this film completely dies. I've got no hope left of Alpha. There is a cameo of Bobby Deol teasing Alpha at the post-credit scene. That cameo and that post-credit scene as well didn't have that kind of desired impact at all. We have all seen Bobby Deol with roles in a villainous avatar in films like Animal, and since Animal you have seen him in films like Kangua as well. So it is not at all fresh. I don't have too much hopes from Alpha. It might just surprise us. I'm not sure about it, but it might surprise us with Alia Bhatt. But to be honest, the way that this film universe is going forward, I don't have too much hopes. Now let's talk about how we can fix it, or can it be fixed. If you take my opinion, and I am a nobody. However, if you take my opinion, to be honest, I don't think YRF should be continuing with the YRF Spy Universe right now at all. The audiences clearly are giving a signal with the box office underperformance of both War 2 right now and with Tiger 3 that they are absolutely tired of it. Rather, I would, if I was Aditya Chopra, I would be going ahead and looking forward to Dhoom 4. Now, Dhoom is also a franchise which completely got derailed by YRF and Aditya Chopra. They went a completely different direction. If you remember the first Dhoom, it created such huge amount of buzz and it was India's first bike and a race heavy film. It literally had a pop culture relevance, especially for bike lovers. However, the second film, as good as Hrithik Roshan was, it went in a completely different direction. However, it was really cool as well to look at it. Third part with Amir Khan, they went in a completely different direction and it was a complete damn squib. It was the worst film of the franchise by 2013. We never expected that the Dhoom franchise would once again reinstate. But they have signed in with Ranbir Kapoor. I am a bit suspicious of who will direct the film. There were rumors that Ayan Mukherjee would be directing this one as well. If Ayan Mukherjee directs this as well, I'm sure he will ruin this. Nothing against Ayan Mukherjee personally, however, I don't think that he is the man to sort it out. Now, this is also one of the problems that Bollywood as a film industry is facing. There are very few directors who can direct big screen spectacles right now. We have all seen what happened with Bade Miyan Chote Miyan. Now, I'm not sure if Ali Abbas Zafar, if that was a fault of Ali Abbas Zafar or was it a fault of the production house that they were representing. It is only Siddharth Anand right now in the entire Bollywood film industry who perhaps you can trust to direct a film of huge scale. To be honest, I'm not sure with the amount of films that we are getting and with the quality of big scale spectacular films that we are getting, especially in Hindi cinema, I'm not sure who is going to direct this film. But to be honest, I am still looking forward to Dhoom 4. But for me, the YRF Spy Universe is finished. Now, there is another point that I really want to discuss over here, that is Hrithik Roshan. What is really happening with Hrithik Roshan, to be honest, is a bit sad. He tried something with Bikram Vedha, however, because it was a remake and at that point of time remakes and right now as well remakes are not at all working, it might have been a wrong decision on this part. Fighter as well didn't quite do the box office numbers which we all know Hrithik Roshan is capable of. And War 2 right now, I'm not sure it is even going to make 300 crores at the box office. Maximum it might gross around 280 or 290 crores. It has already made around 98 crores in the Hindi market after 3 days. So seeing a bit of repetition with Hrithik Roshan and a bit of a tiredness with the audience. As great of an actor Hrithik Roshan is, it literally is looking a bit repetitive. And it is a bit sad. Do let us know in the comment section that what are your expectations from the next sequence of YRF Spy Universe and what did you think of War 2? And if you found this video genuinely interesting, do subscribe to Finally Cinema. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.